Welcome to the Jing for the second paper, the reflection imitation paper. Um, what I want to do is to go through this a little bit and bring out the high points of the assignment. So what you need to do is to read this excerpt from Graham Greene. This is from an interview in the Paris Review, and it talks about how Greene came to be a writer, and primarily what sort of topics that he learned that would be the things that he would write about. But the thing that you have to remember here is that he's looking back on this, say, 40 years in the past, and he's answering a question of an interviewer, and the interviewer asks him, how did he become a writer? Well, there's lots of ways to think about how one learns to do whatever one is able to do. And what Greene does here is that he creates a myth about his life. Now, he uses a real memory, but he takes that memory and he creates it to fit this particular assignment, really. The interviewer is giving him an assignment. And there's three parts to this particular myth. One is a predisposition. He is predisposed to be a writer just because that's what he's interested in doing. He doesn't necessarily know off the top of his head how to do that. But what he does is he picks up the Bowen book, The Viper of Milan. And we often do this. We often look at the kinds of things that we want to do and we say, oh my gosh, that's what I want to do. That's what it thrills us. And in this case, it thrilled him to read about the Viper of Milan. And he says to himself, how can I do this? And the third thing he has to have in order to figure out how to do this is he needs a particular experience. And the experience that he finds here is Carter, which is a real live person in his school. And he connects Carter on the stairs immediately to Bowen's Viper of Milan. And it clicks for him. Okay? And it's all set in a particular place, in a particular time, in a particular scene. And that's what you need to do. Don't do a progressive narrative where you tell us how you learn this and then learn that and learn this, and so forth. No, you want to have one particular scene where you are introduced to some kind of outside information, and you bring that to bear on your predisposition. Like you hear a lecture or you hear someone talking about the theory of something or other, and it doesn't really make sense to you, but it kind of interests you. And then you have an experience where you can put that theory to practice, and you can learn how to do this particular thing, what I'm calling X. But you need those three things, and you need to tell us how you put those three things together: the predisposition, the outside information, and the experience, and how those three things together build this myth and give your reader the experience of seeing how you learn something. You can't just tell us that you learned something. You can't just have somebody say to you that, yes, you're good at whatever. That's not enough. You have to show us the combination of these three things within an experience: a predisposition, outside information, and the experience. Okay? All right, thanks.